So, I know FC26 is out for everybody by the time it's going to be uploaded, it will. But there's no messing about because we've got EFL fixtures coming up right here on the Mouse channel. Hi again, it's me. Today, we're doing my EFL Gameweek 9 predictions. Can't you believe it? We're in the 9th game week already. Can't you believe that? We have no messing about with the logic today, and I get into the list. It's a Father's Day today, we're going to be nice. And make sure you subscribe as we're trying to get ourselves after 200 subs. Probably about by Halloween if we get over doing 2 things gold. And no messing about. We got the Friday night. West Brom take on Leicester City now. Woo! Both teams didn't get to win in the weekend or last weekend. But West Brom lost 2-1 in the middle of it. Got the final goal in the game. And Leicester draw nil on the contrary. Couldn't even get a single shot in the blooming net. Carl Rushworth was really cooking in that game in Leicester. That's why they couldn't let a goal in. But I think they probably had the most shots per game. Like I think they probably had the most shots. Or like in all the teams this season. I think they had a team with the most shots. But yeah, it's gonna be a very tight game. What really? It's gonna be really, really tight. But I'm gonna go for a very tight game. Tight fence. It's going to be a 1-1 draw at the West Brom Stadium. Now, we're in the CBS Arena. Look at this. I bet Matt SB will be here for Coventry taking Birmingham now. Both teams I am expecting to be around in the top 4. And for Birmingham won 1-0 very, very late on against Swansea last weekend. And Coventry got a clean sheet, but they couldn't get the job done. They couldn't even get to finish the job by drawing 0-0 to Leicester. But Carl Rushworth was man of the match. He was cooking all game with 11 saves, 13 points in the fantasy team in the last game week. I haven't for this game week as I really think that Carl Rushworth will keep a clean sheet here. But this time they're winning and they're going to score. It'll be very, very tight. I think it's really tight at the CBS Arena. A 1-0 win to Coventry is going to happen, and Carl Rushworth might cook again. And then back down to Wrexham, with Wrexham taking on Derby now. Wrexham up to 15th after beating ugly 3-2. Up to 16th because Millwall played on Monday night, but before it was Monday, they were 15th. But yeah, they're down to 16th because Millwall played, and yeah, etc. Yeah, what a win it was against ugly, really, for Wrexham, beating them 3-2, and for Derby losing 1-0 to Preston. It's kind of concerning for Derby, but it's only the start, and I really think they're going to climb up the table somewhere soon, but it's going to be very, very tight. I have the club Wrexham fantasy team for this game week. I have a feeling Wrexham will get their second point of the season at home. I think a 2-2 draw at Wrexham. And into League One now with AFC taking on Wycombe now. AFC never underestimate them at home. They have been so hard to go against at home at Proud Lane for AFC this season. The only time they lost or failed to win it was against Cardiff, and they lost 1-0 and it was only at the very end really for Cardiff. For AFC. And Wycombe won 2-0 against Northampton as they. Yeah, I don't know the name, but I think it's still a Mike, but I don't know the last name. But I think it's a Mike, but who knows really? But it's going to be a very tight game to watch, really. I think Ayrton will fail to win at home for the second time this season. I have think it's going to be goals here. It's going to be a 2-2 draw at Prowl Lane. And then to Little to Stevenage now. Ooh, it's 14th take on second. Second place Stevenage. When did the world come to? Who would have thought we'll be thinking about in August the top 2 to not have like the big clubs? But Stevenage, second place against all the odds. Stevenage is second. What a story it is for Stevenage, and they could be another dark horse. There's so many dark horses in League One this season. It's unreal in League One, but I have a feeling that Leighton Orient and Stevenage are going to have a tight fight. They always put it live on Sky Sports recently, ever since the Sky Sports had a new membership for like the games and that, and yeah, I have been it's a very tight one to watch really. It's going to be a 1-1 draw, but I think Stevenage will pull off a very good fight. Then to Oldham and Barnet now in the lunchtime in League Two. Woo! Both teams came up from the National League last season. And both teams are on form. One is 13th, one is 11th. Oldham, 3 wins in a row. Could they make it 4 wins in a row? And for Barnet, could they get their 4th double a season? Their 5th double a season by getting 3 wins in a row? Who knows, really? This game could go anywhere, really, to be honest. This game could go anywhere. And when I mean anywhere, I mean anywhere. It could go like Oldham win, Barnet win, 2-2, 3-3, 0-0. Who blooming knows? I'm going for goals galore. 2-2 draw is happening at Boundary Park. But it could be 3-3. But I'm going 2-2. Then for Cruisers on Notts County now. Woo! Yep, it's not a good game to watch, really. Last of the Met. Both teams played each other on live on Sky Sports Football. And that's in the international break weekend. And they both pulled out a stinker of a 0-0. Could this be a replay? One team entered the playoffs, one team has left the playoffs by sitting in 12th place. And they could go even further down the table. But who knows, really? But I think Notts County may probably pull up the dub against Crewe here. A 2-1 win to Notts County for this one. Then to the 3 o'clock kickoffs now. We're starting to Middlesbrough now. Middlesbrough, what a long journey it is. Coming from Yorkshire to Hampshire. Like, boo! But at the last of the Met, Middlesbrough earned a 1-1 draw at St Mary's on Good Friday in 2024. Now they're meeting up again in 2025. And Middlesbrough, top of the table, Middlesbrough, they are crushing it. And for Southampton got battered. Lost 2 games in their own all competitions. I think one was kind of expected, but one was not. Losing 3-1 to Hull, but they're all from away. So, yeah, they had to go from Hull and then back down to Anfield. Bam, they made a V, but they're staying in St Mary's. But I have a feeling Middlesbrough may probably run right against Southampton. But if they do, it's going to be some concern signs for Wales still. But I think the squad needs to chill. And very soon. But I have a feeling Middlesbrough may batter Southampton here. It could go either way. But I'm going for a 4-1 win to Middlesbrough. I'm going big. And then to Preston and Bristol City now. Ooh, it's 5th versus 3rd. Oh my days. This is going to be a good game to watch, really. Ooh, Bristol City took in their first L of the season, losing 3-1 to Oxford City. And we'll get on to Oxford in a minute. And for Preston, winning 1-0. And oh my days, do not underestimate Preston at Deepdale this season. They have been beating big teams for like only by 1 goal. But by that, it's really impressive. But I can tell you it's going to be a game to watch, really. It's going to be very, very tight. But I'm going to go for it again. I might say this again. Another 2-2 draw is happening at Deepdale. And into Oxford and Sheffield United now at the bottom. Ooh, Oxford got in their first double of the season up to 20th. Sheffield United, if they get their first double of the season, which I think they could, they won't even move it up a table. They won't even move up a place. They'll also stay 24. But in 6 days' time, I think they might be out of the bottom. But who blooming knows? Who knows, really? But who blooming knows? But I think that Sheffield United, it's about time they get their first point and double the season. I think it's about time. They lost 1-0 to Luton, but that was just a practice game. I think for Chris Rodder, I have a feeling a 2-1 win to Sheffield United this one. They're getting the first dub. It's about time that Sheffield United gets their first dub. And then to my team now, Ipswich taking Portsmouth now. Yeah, Ipswich game against Blackburn at Ewood Park. Oh my days, do we have to go through this? It was trenching down at Ewood Park. Oh my days. I didn't even notice it was like suspended until like 3 minutes after they had to pause the game because of how bad the weather was. and how bad the weather was. We were losing 1-0 down. We were losing 1-0 to Blackburn, and somehow it had to be abandoned for serious reasons. It's for safety. The grass was just too wet. It was just too rainy. But I have a feeling. I have a feeling. I think we'll be all up rested. I think it'll be a sunny or cloudy day at Portman Road. And I think we'll get the dub here. 2 wins in a row in Portman Road is incoming. I think a 3-1 win to Ipswich for this one. I think we'll be running riot again. And into League One now with Bradford taking Blackpool now. Ooh, it's beef and spree. The first word from each two teams sound quite similar to Brad and Black. I think. Who knows really, but Bradford top of the table, battering Cardiff 3-0. Who saw that coming? Because I didn't, and Blackpool won 1-0 against Barnsley, so this could be an interesting game to watch, really. But could this be the start of Blackpool turning their start around, or just starting to forget their start and just move on from that by starting to climb up the table? But could Blackpool pull off an upset, or could Bradford pull off another big upset? But who blooming knows here? I'm going to go for a very tight fence. Blackpool's going to hold on to the leaders. 1-1 draw is happening. And then the Wigan taking Cardiff now. Ooh! Cardiff lost 3-0, like I said just a moment ago. And Wigan got battered 4-1 by Bolton in the midweeks last weekend. Oh my days, both teams got battered, so this could be a very hard game to think. But it's going to be very, very tight. It's going to be really, really tight. But Cardiff advanced to the 4th round. They're facing off Wrexham at Wrexham. I wish it was Cardiff, because I would go to that game. I might, but who knows really. But this is going to be a game to watch really. It's going to be a very tight game to watch really. I have a feeling it's going to be really tight. But I think that Cardiff is going to win. Only just a 1-0 win for Cardiff. And then the Stockport taking Reading now. Woo! Stockport double, won 1-0 against Rotherham in the last weekend at the New York Stadium at Rotherham, and for Reading winning 2-1 against Leyton Orient in their second league double of the season, but they lost 2-0 to Wrexham in the weekend, not in the midweek in the Carabao Cup. But it's going to be a very tight one to watch really. It's going to be really, really tight. It's going to be really, really tight, but I remember last season Stockport just kept on battering Reading like constantly, and an aggregate score on 8-2. Could we see a replay of that happening? But it's gonna be very, very tight. It's gonna be quite tight. But I have a feeling it's gonna be a 2-2 draw at Edgeley Park for this one. And heading to Kenilworth Road now with Luton taking Doncaster now. Woo! Last season they were in 2 separate divisions. 2 seasons ago they were in 3 separate divisions. Can't you believe it? It's been 6 years from the last time we met each other. And they've been through everything. Luton's been through everything, mostly. Doncaster, they've been in League One, got relegated to League Two. Both teams have been everywhere really recently in the past 6 years, but it's been a good game to watch really. Luton and Doncaster have been quite recently, but Doncaster had a good game against Tottenham, but losing 3-0, but yeah, it's been quite tight. Luton had more rest days than Doncaster because they had a game in the midweek with Tottenham, yeah, like I said, but it's been quite tight. I'm thinking of a 1-1 draw. It's been quite tight. And then to Barnsley and Port Vale now. Port Vale filled their stadium 16,000 for the first time since 1999. Against Arsenal, and they lost 2-0 sadly, and with Barnsley got battered 6-0 at Oakwell. So yeah, I think it's the second year in a row that they've been knocked out by a high scoring by conceding quite more than 5 goals. Yeah, and it's gonna be quite tight for Barnsley because Barnsley is 6th. Port Vale got their second 2 league dubs in a row. And I don't know, but I have been that Port Vale might make it 3 league wins in a row here. I think they're going to do it. Port Vale's going to beat Barnsley at Oakwell here. A 2-1 win to Port Vale. And then into League 2 now with Barrow going for a long journey to Crawley. With Crawley taking Barrow now. Both teams are down. Both teams are down in the bottom of League 2 now. Oh, it's going to be quite tight to watch, really. And Crawley got battered 4-0 by Notts County last weekend. Hopefully they don't want to see a replay of that happening because it's in 4 to Barrow, but it's going to be another tight game to watch, really. It's really, really, really tight. It's going to be quite tight, but I think that Crawley will get it over the line. Very, very tight. 2-1 win to Crawley for this one, but it'll be very, very tight. And then the Swindon team with Bromley now. Ooh, Swindon fell down to 4th place. It was nice seeing Swindon at the top of the table, but they might go back to the top of the table. You might not know. Who blooming knows, really? Who blooming knows? Swindon might be back at the top of the table soon. But for Bromley have drawn 2-2 to Chesterfield for the 2nd season in a row. Had that prediction spot on because I am built different and I'm the king of predictions. And the episode of the game to watch, really. Last event, Bromley beat Swindon 1-0 to end Swindon's season. And the episode really very tight game to watch, really. I have it in Swindon. We'll go for revenge against Bromley here. I think a 2-0 win to Swindon for this one. And then the Luton MK Dons now. Ooh, MK Dons. We did very really quickly. Lost 2-1 Accrington. And the main part is, they are now below the two newly promoted National League teams, Oldham and Barnet. Who would have thought they were the bookies' favourites? They were my favourites. They were always everybody's favourites to win the league. And look at them, they're struggling 14th place, but I think they will climb up the table. I think they will be up there, but I really think that this will be the start. MK Dons will be back to winning ways here. I think a 3-1 win to MK Dons, but I know they've been suffering some injuries recently, but I think they'll get back to winning ways at this point. 3-1 MK Dons. Then the Gillingham team on Harrogate now. Gillingham, top of the table. You're having a laugh, top of the table, having a laugh by Gillingham. As that's what they're saying to Swindon, because they were below them on goal difference. And look at them, they're now top of the table overall now. And for Harrogate, got on their first dub in 4. I knew that would happen. I blooming knew that would happen. I think I said Harrogate. No, I didn't. Who knows, really, but I think that Harrogate may suffer their 5th defeat in 6, sadly, but I really think it's going to be too much for them, for Harrogate, and I think that Gillingham will batter Harrogate here. I think a 3-1 win to Gillingham for this one, but Harrogate will put up a good fight. And then to the final game now, Bristol Rovers taking Salford now. Salford, what a win it was against Swindon. They were 2-0 up. Swindon scored 2 goals. Then they left their leg to make it 3-2 to Salford. Robbery, that is. Absolute robbery. And for Bristol Rovers, drawn 1-1 to Colchester. They are now been unbeaten in 6 games, Bristol Rovers. So yep, it's gonna be a good game to watch, really. Last minute, Bristol Rovers beat Salford 1-0, and yeah, it's really, really tight game to watch, really. It's really quite tight. I think there's going to be goals in this one, really, at the Memorial Stadium. I think there's going to be goals. It's going to be a 2-2 draw at the Memorial Stadium. And if you're wondering, here is the rest of my predictions and the EFL Fantasy team for Gameweek 9 right here. And if it's my predictions, you can comment down below on what your predictions will be. And yeah, thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, subscribe, and share. And I'll see you guys later. Bye!